For music lovers all around the world, you're listening to Our Voice FM.
It's a song called That's the Way It Is, and it's written and performed by a young man, well, youngish man, called Gerry Clohessy. He's a Roscommon man. He's a musician. He is a songwriter. He's lots and lots and lots and lots of different things, and we're going to find out all about him today. Gerry Clohessy, you're very welcome to the studio. How are you?
Thanks, John. I'm grand now. Thanks very much. Doing good. Good weather has us in good form.
I know. Was that you playing the sax in that?
No. I was just doing the singing on that one.
Yeah, it's cool
it's
stuff.
It's a funky sort of one, yeah.
Very, very funky, and I love that the voice on that. Like, it's real kind of I don't know, Axl Rose or something. Or,
well, I don't know about that.
It's brilliant. So listen, before we get into your music and your life, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a Roscommon man, but you weren't born in Roscommon, were you?
No, I was born actually in a town called Basingstoke in Hampshire in England. Right. 1969, quite a while ago now, and we moved back to Ireland. My mum and dad are from Ireland and from Boyle and Riverstown, and moved back here in 1976. So I lost the accent fairly quickly. I don't know how that is. I know guys from Manchester that are the same age as me that came back to Boyle at the same time still have their accents, but mine went fairly quickly for whatever reason.
I know what the reason is, because you're musical.
Maybe
you're musical
so.
Because I used to get down to Cork. A lot to see all my friends, and even on the train back, I'd be singing in the Cork accents, like, you know, and people saying, "Where are you from?"
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I think it does help, that music. You do pick up, and you do kind of integrate with your surroundings, you know. But right, okay.
Yes.
So what age were you when you moved back?
I was 6.5. I remember.
Wow. A big change.
Big change, yeah. I didn't understand what people were saying half the time. They were saying, look at this, look at. I didn't know what look at meant and that sort of thing. And I'll give you a box. What's this box all about? Like, you know, you were used to Boxing Day, not St. Stephen's Day, and things like that, you know.
Right.
But I stepped into line fairly quickly when I got to primary school here in Ireland. I can imagine, you know, you can imagine. But it's a big change, all right. But a good change, as the fella says. I wouldn't change it for I wouldn't go back to, as the fella says, to living in England. I don't think I would at this stage, like, you know.
Okay.
But Ireland is home.
So your folks emigrated.
Yeah,
to
in the
England,
60s and that. And they married over there and that.
Right, as a lot of Irish did at the time. Do you know? And there's so many couples. I know there's couples I know in Keeju and other people in Boyle as well who went and came back again.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful place to bring up children, though, isn't it? This part of the world.
I have great memories of childhood, like growing up in the 70s and 80s back in Boyle. It was grand, you know what I mean? It really was. And we seem to get good weather like this as well, I remember.
I know.
More so than in the last few years and that, like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was lovely.
And was music always, you know, important in your life? What was, you know... Tell us about kind of your early kind of experiences or influences in music.
Oh, my early influences. I remember growing up in the 80s in Boyle, and we used to go to Kelly's Pool Saloon on the Crescent.
Right.
It's where Jackpots is, or they've changed the name now to something else, but
okay.
it's an amusement arcade now. But it was a different sort of an amusement arcade back then. It was more pinball and Space Invaders and that.
Defender.
And, yeah. And the lads that were in the charts was Culture Club and The Police, I suppose, and all the different 80s bands that were around at the time, but we were all into the hard rock stuff from the early 70s.
Right.
A couple of guys, mates of mine, that were into Deep Purple and that, and I got into it. And I was fascinated by the singers, Ian Gillan and later on David Coverdale, that went on to become Whitesnake. And I just loved the singer voices of these guys. And Ian Gillan, he was able to scream, and it just was something else, I thought, like, you know. And I got to see them both in concert over the years and that as a young person,
Right.
which is great, like, you know, to go to concerts when you're young and not when you're old and you just want to go home after 20 minutes, you know. But yeah, it was. We used to have a lot of fun there, you know, swapping records and stuff and that. And back then, we started a band then. But got into a band with a few of the older lads. Then it was called Phaeton, Phaiton, P-H-A-I-T-O-N, I think. And
Right.
that was our, I think the first time we played was playing support to a Cork band called Drive Shaft. A few of the lads had been at Saxon in Dublin previous, and they got in with the support act, Saxon or Drive Shaft, and they asked them would they come down to Boyle and play. So it was through the Feroiga Club, and yeah, it was great. It was a great experience. And we got playing for a minute or something with them, or I think something like that, you know. But yeah, it was cool, like, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, a long way from Music Generation, you know, what's happening now.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
promotion about. But I find, though, that with the likes of Music Generation, it's absolutely great, but there are very few venues to play in these days, when you think about it.
Yeah. There's no...
When we were growing up, everywhere had bands in
That's
them.
right, that's right.
They weren't paid loads and loads of money, or you know what I mean. You were nearly
Paid in
kind
pints
of
a lot of the time.
yeah. You were nearly paying them to let you
exactly,
play in their
exactly,
pubs,
yeah.
like because every band wanted to be discovered, or they wanted to, you know, to get to England or get onto Top of the Pops or whatever. But yeah, I find that, you know, the pubs don't embrace kind of young bands anymore. Or I don't know what the story is, but yeah,
I think
but it was a different time, wasn't it?
The culture, the drinking culture, I think has changed, or the social culture with pubs has changed over the years and that, and I suppose COVID as well. You know, people are sort of doing their thing at home and that, and not as much in the pubs and that, and it's so bloody expensive. You know,
I know
it's
it
got
is
so expensive, like,
It
you know,
is.
that sort of way as well.
But it's also expensive to go into a studio as a band
Oh God, yeah.
and put down a few tracks, or
Yeah.
you know, it really, really is. And we might just talk about, you know, your experience on YouTube in a while.
Yeah.
So there you started off in this band, and then so what happened then? Where did you go from that?
Oh, from that then I went through well, secondary school and that, and sort of coasted for a few years in secondary school. Didn't really live up to my so-called potential, as they say, like, you know.
Who did?
I was working as a petrol pump assistant during those years, and I had money in my pocket, and I just wasn't I wasn't the ideal student, as they say back then. But I got an apprenticeship then as an apprentice electrician in the old Woco rubber factory in Carrick. Right. And that was between 1987 and 1991. And that was good crack. Now, a good crack with the lads and that, and really enjoyed it. And after that, then I did a quick stint in Euro Disney, working as electrician.
Go on.
It was built by that stage. We were just doing sort of bits of kitting out and stuff, and in reality, we were just there to make up the numbers for the Irish contractors that was being subbed from the American contractors, and they were creaming in the big money, and they were paying us whatever we were getting, like, you know. So it was a body shop, as they used to call it, like, you know. Or a Mickey Mouse job, as people used to say, call it as well. But it was a great experience. It was great. It was damn cold. It was really, really cold when I was there in the wintertime in Paris, yeah. But it was a great experience. Like,
Did you get into Paris much?
Oh, yeah. Well, on Sundays. We were working 6 days a week, and we'd go in on Sundays, usually hungover, and you'd see things and you'd say, I didn't have a camera anthem with me at the beginning, and you'd see, oh, there's Notre Dame. Oh, yeah, will we go in? No, I don't want to go in there. So I have never been back, to be honest. I'd love to go back and see it properly. But yeah, that's on the bucket list, I suppose. Like,
it's a gorgeous city. One of my favourite cities.
Oh, yeah.
Come here, listen, why don't we play a little bit of music, and then we can talk. So maybe introduce this next song of yours, maybe just before we do, all your music is up on YouTube, Gerry.
That's correct, yeah.
So what's your channel? Or
My
what's
channel is Gerry Clohessy Music.
Gerry Clohessy.
You just type that into YouTube, or even Gerry Clohessy will get it up now at this stage. But Gerry Clohessy Music. The link is, I don't know what the link is, I can't remember, but Gerry Clohessy Music will get me.
We'll get it, okay.
So this next song is a song I wrote with a good friend of mine, Johnny McGlynn. He wrote the music for it, and it's called Destiny's Child. It's about basically my story of my life and experiences up to date.
Brilliant.
To the present day, and we maybe talk a bit about it afterwards.
Very much so, yeah. Hit it.
Okay.
Hit it. There's no, maybe, I don't know, do any ads come on beforehand? Yeah, well, that's okay. We can just chat while the ads are on.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
I've been picking up the pieces of my life for so long now. It feels like forever. It feels like forever. my fault at all, but maybe it was my destiny. Maybe it was my destiny. Maybe it was my destiny. Maybe I'm a destiny's child. Maybe I'm a destiny's child. Had to lose myself to find myself. Lose myself to find myself. Is everything. Is everything. Everyone. My reputation. My reputation. Everyone thinks I'm gone. Everyone thinks I'm gone on down the road. I'm still here, you know. I'm still here, you know. Singing my blues. Singing my blues. Better than ever. Better than ever. I'm still here, you know. I'm still here, you know. Gone but not forgotten. I was gone but not forgotten. It was part of my destiny. It was part of my destiny. Deconstruct myself, deconstruct myself, reconstruct myself, reconstruct myself over time. Suffering, such suffering, such suffering. I wouldn't wish it on my worst day. I wouldn't wish it on my worst day. But it made me what I am. But it made me what I am. Maybe it was my
For music lovers all around the world, you're listening to Our Voice FM.
I love that, Gerry. That's a beautiful, beautiful sound. Tell me about that song.
Well, that song, Destiny's Child, started off as a song. I was calling it I'm Picking Up the Pieces. And basically, the song is a story of my diagnosis of a mental health condition. I suffer from a mental health condition called bipolar disorder.
Right.
It was actually manic depression. I was diagnosed with at the time, but times have changed and
Yes.
they've changed the names and that. And basically, the song tells the story of basically what happened to me and how I ended up at the end of the day in the psychiatric unit in Roscommon.
Right.
And after that, being in the wilderness for years and years and years, trying to figure out what happened to me, what went wrong.
Right.
And then the song progresses as I get better in myself and I getting stronger and more self-esteem is building up again and that. And I'm singing, I'm still here, you know. People think I'm long gone down the road, but I'm still here and I'm still doing it as good as I can, you know. And it's a bit of a full circle, that song, because it started off with me. Basically, I was in a band and I was trying to promote the band. This is in 1994. We got involved in a Battle of the Bands competition on RTE. They were making a video of us.
Right.
And I decided I was going to, this is my last chance maybe at doing something because I was unemployed for so long.
Right.
I said I'd have a go at trying promoting this and get as much notice as I could for this particular slot on a Sunday morning that this video was going to be played. It sounds ridiculous now, but at the time it was huge for me and that. And I was going up and down to Dublin on the train maybe 3 times a week, putting up posters at bus stops, trying to calculate how many people were watching these posters as they went by in the bus in Rathmines or wherever. And stuff like that, in and out to recording studios, annoying everyone in RTE. And basically when you're getting high like that, I wasn't diagnosed. I didn't know what was happening. I was just feeling so good in myself. You feel invincible, basically. That's the way it is with it. But it ended up that what happens is your mind is working so fast that your body can't keep up, basically, and your mind is going blue, 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 blue all the time, and you know, different ideas, different things, and I had just got exhausted, completely exhausted, burned out, you know, and they brought me to the hospital, and I was there for a few weeks, and they told me then that this was the problem. And it took me a while. It took me a while for it to sink in because I was still feeling pretty good at that stage in the hospital.
Yeah.
But the crash comes after that. That's the only thing with bipolar disorder. You get depressed after a high like that, and but basically that's what the song is about, and it's about at the end of it. Hopefully, it sort of expresses my ongoing recovery from the illness. I will have the illness for all my life, and I'm on medication for it, and will be all my life. But it's a sort of a testament to that you can come back from these things and that, and recovery is possible. Like, you know, with a bit of hope, a bit of getting the right help, you know, when you need it, basically, and when you're ready for it as well.
Okay.
And just getting maybe a renewed purpose in life and that, like, you know. So I think the song comes full circle with even what we're chatting about here today. We're talking about the songs and the YouTube channel and that, and that's what I was doing like maybe 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But now I'm grounded. I'm going in and I'm seeing people every day in the training centre in Boyle, and I'm being seen by nurses and doctors every couple of months and that.
Right.
So I'm very much grounded in that.
Yeah.
But it's been quite a journey, like,
oh my
you know.
God, roller coaster.
Roller coaster, as they say, like, you know.
And
But I'm
did
doing
you
good now.
go
I'm
back
doing
to that
pretty good.
time that you were going up to Dublin on the train and putting up all the posters, and you know, really you're on a mission.
Yeah, you could say that.
You were fairly Did you ever kind of realise that there might be something going on, or that there was something? Because I remember reading a book a while ago, and normal is what you know. Like so our lives, my life, you know, and what I do in my life, you know, to me, seems like a normal thing to do. But I suppose it's only when you compare it to somebody else's life that you see there are differences, and well, my normal is different to their normal, and but did you ever look at other people and kind of go, they're weird?
No. It was all just basically they wouldn't understand. This is for me. I was getting grandiose, and you know, you were above everything else and that, and the people wouldn't understand what I'm on about because my mind was working so fast.
Right.
I was on to the next thing before I'd even talked about the thing I was originally talking about, and. But looking back now, I can see all the different things and that's the things that I have to watch out for myself, you know, in you know, present times or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting illness, put it that way, like, you know. It's the depression part is,
and it's only when you break a bone that you have to go for help.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's only when your spirit is, I don't know how you would call it, or your heart, or your mind, you know, that breaks, that it then, you know, that's when it's the critical time. It's time to.
Yeah. Well, what happens is when you realise what's happened to you and that you've been in psychiatric unit and everything, you just think, my God, my future is just over. It's gone. It's everything, you know, especially when I'm a sensitive sort of person, and to me, who's ever going to give me work again when they hear about this? Who's ever going to do anything? Anyone going to even believe anything I say anymore? Because you know, the stigma that is around mental health issues and mental illness is still alive and well. But we're here to try and combat it.
It is. No, I think things are getting better with the
likes
likes
getting
of
better, a lot better.
Darkness into Light, and even in Roscommon here, you have Jigsaw. You have a lot of kind of organisations that are normalising it. But I remember, like, some of my friends were also hospitalised and were in psychiatric, as they say. But before that, you know, it wasn't such a nice name as psychiatric hospital. It was the mental home.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Or it was the sanatorium, or it was, and it really was, you know, pushed out over there. But even when my friends were in a hospital, I don't know what it was like for you, but the hospitals weren't very nice. Sometimes you feel that people would come out worse than they went in, because I know where I was, there was one of my friends in Blanchardstown, and there was paint coming off the walls. They weren't bright, you know, places. They were fairly horrible places, like, do you know what I mean? And what was it like for you going
I
into?
have to say
was it
that
okay?
I have to say my experience in the Unit of Roscommon was very positive.
Okay.
I have to say, and there was none of the peeling the paint off the walls. Everything
Right.
is a lovely pink, soothing colours going down
lovely.
the hall and that, and I found it quite soothing at the time. But back then, like that's 30 years ago now, and I haven't been in the unit in many, many, many years. Thank God, touch
Yeah.
wood, and. The things have changed a lot. I think back then what it was medicate you, we'll see you in 3 months' time. Basically, we'll see you in 3 months' time,
luck.
sort of thing.
Yes,
There was no
yes.
backup. There was no real support apart from your 3 monthly visit to the
Okay.
doctor and that. Nowadays, it's so much different. You have so many things going on, stuff that I haven't even accessed because I haven't had need to in recent years and that. But the likes of Gerry Recovery College in
Yes,
Roscommon,
yes.
they're basically on the campus, if you like, of Roscommon Hospital and that. And I've
Okay.
attended some of their courses and just brilliant
Okay.
stuff. And there's so much online now as well, support groups and helplines and that. And the stigma isn't there as bad as it was, even among what happens as well with people is they self-stigmatise themselves.
Right.
And that's one of the hardest things to get over because you think, oh God, I've got this, I'm useless, I'm never going to be anything or do anything ever again, sort of thing. And you go into a complete shell in that.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to break out of that, but I got a lot of help. I got a lot of help from and support from family and friends, and later on then from the staff in the Boyle Training Centre there beside me in Boyle, which I can't say enough about to how good they've been for me and that. And we'll probably talk about a little bit more about that.
Brilliant.
But
Yeah.
it's. But no, my experiences with the services, if you like, with
Okay.
the HSC and with Roscommon, that nothing but positive, I have
Right,
to say.
okay.
And that might not be the same for everyone, but it was for me. I have to say, I couldn't fault them really, because they have a tough job to do, and they got to go in there and do it every day, as they say, So
They sure do.
that's it.
Gerry, will you give us another song? Will you line up something there for us? Because, and maybe give a little introduction to it as well, because I really loved that last one. It was really bluesy and
Yeah.
raw and
Raw.
That's and I love songs like that. There's very few
Yeah.
people can get over, can put that emotion into their songs. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the likes of I know Morrissey. I loved all his stuff.
Yeah,
It was real earthy, livable experiences in his music.
Sure. Yeah.
Like George Michael as well. I know.
Yeah, I love George Michael,
It's not,
yeah.
it's not that it's raw, but you can feel the
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
Of,
It's
of
real.
the
It's real.
the stories are real.
Yeah.
So what have you lined
This
up? for us
song,
there?
this next song is a song that was written by my good friend Johnny McGlynn, and he plays, produces, arranged, and he sings backing vocals on it. And I got the privilege of singing lead vocal on it, and you'll have to ask Johnny what it's about. I don't know. I was just under instruction for this one, but it's called Lost in Flames, and it's much more orchestrated, we'll say, than. As it was put together a lot
Okay.
better than what I usually do on my own, because I'm not that great of a musician, but Johnny is a professional.
And I don't
he's
be
a-
underselling yourself here now. Gerry.
He's a genius with music. So here we go. There's time to get over and over and get it right. What is mine? Those moments together for all time. You see, I feel nothing if I ain't got you. If I ain't got you, oh,
words of love over again, over again. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Standing there just out of reach, colder and colder again. Until you hear me, won't you believe in me?
That was a song called Lost in Flames. I'm here with Gerry Casey, who is a musician and a songwriter, and who has done many things with music over the years. You're a Trojan horse there. You're a hard-working man, Gerry.
I don't know if people would agree with that, to be throwing their eyes up to heaven.
But isn't it great to be able to express yourself? Beyond language, if you know what I mean. I know lyrics are important in a lot of these songs, and they're telling stories, but I think musically, it brings us to a different place. It's almost pre-language, when you hear the introduction to a song or a bass riff or a guitar riff, it just evokes something, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
It really does. Come here, we were talking about your journey with bipolar.
That's
disease.
right.
Is it an illness? Is it? Can you tell me? Because I actually don't know much. I've heard the word. And I've known people who've said, I'm bipolar, but I don't really understand what it is. Could you maybe fill me in layman's terms?
Well, bipolar, I suppose, the old name for it was manic depression, and they changed the name in psychiatry circles to bipolar disorder, so that it might describe it a bit better than the old one. I sort of prefer the old one name myself. I think it's a bit more romantic. There's a lot of creative people down through the years that have seemingly been not maybe diagnosed at the time, but from the evidence there, they would be posthumously diagnosed with manic depression and bipolar. But bipolar disorder is a mood disorder, basically. It's a disorder of the mood, whereas people in their ordinary day-to-day lives have the normal ups and downs, and things go wrong for them, and they get over it after a while. You know what I mean? They get that. With bipolar disorder, your mood can fluctuate from the highs of heights, to the lowest of the lows.
Right.
And that's where it's called manic. You go with mania, you're mad, running around the place, doing stuff.
Yeah.
Depression then is the polar opposite. It's the complete opposite, where you're just, you don't want to know anymore. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to, everything is black. Everything is just dreadful.
Yeah. And
there's different varieties, if you like, of bipolar disorder. I have what's bipolar 1, which is the more serious, I suppose, if you want to put it that way. It's the more extreme version of it. Right. I get the extreme highs. If I do get high, no, I haven't got high, and thank God, in many years. Right. But when I did get high, it was off the scale completely. Took me many weeks being medicated, even in hospital, to come down from that.
Wow, really?
And the depression is very same as I think as endogenous depression. It's just it just completely engulfs you, and it can take months and months and months, if not years, to lift in that. And that's really what I suffer from at the moment. I'm on medication and mood stabilizers to keep me on an even keel.
Yeah.
But I still get my days, the depression and that comes along and just, what the hell sort of thing, like, But then there are milder versions of it, and bipolar 2, whereas the highs aren't as high.
Okay.
And the lows aren't as low. Bipolar 2 is kind of, there a few years ago, became quite trendy in the media. You'd heard the celebrities coming out, oh, I'm bipolar and this, like, and everyone was saying, oh, God, this is, God help you, all this sort of thing.
Right.
But they were probably a lot of it on the very mild spectrum.
Yeah.
They didn't have the up and downs that I might have experienced, or people that I am friendly with have have experienced in that. But it's a lifelong illness. There's no cure for it. Right. There's only maintenance that they can control the extremes. They can, if you think of it as a peak and a trough, like a sine wave, they're able to compress it down and keep it where it's more or less in an even keel with medication. And talk therapy and all that helps as well. It's helped me hugely. But it's.
And do you find that because you've owned it, you're kind of in charge of it now? Some people. I've noticed this with some people who might have children with autism or with ADHD, or there's just something different. But the parents seem to ignore it or don't accept that there is something wrong with their child, type thing. And it's only when they do accept that they can get help for their child. But do you find that because you've named it, you own it, you know all about it, you've bloody well experienced it, that you're now in control of it?
Well, I'm in control of it to the degree that I can be in control of it. As a friend of mine said once, I'm going to do anything that I can to make me better, that I can do in my power, and that. Like I gave up alcohol about 24 years ago. Just said that's it one day. I was in the pub. I had €5 in my pocket. I had 2 pints. Imagine you could get 2 pints for five pounds back then.
What pub was that?
Just I decided, am I going to sit here now like a bum waiting for someone to buy me a drink, or am I going to go home? And I went home and I never touched a drop since in about 24 years. Brilliant. So that was the start, really, of my self-development or self-clawing back. And that, because I was drinking since I was about 13 or 14. As I said, I used to earn money working as a petrol pump assistant. And, we've all done it.
Tell me that fancy name you called yourself. What
a fuel injection technician, yeah. very, very good. But, but I don't know where I was going with that.
So you'd taken control. You had stopped drinking.
That's right.
And that was maybe at that point you kind of, I don't know.
That was a huge change for me. It was a huge change for me to have 20 or 30 quid in my pocket on a Monday morning. That was a big thing for me. You know what I mean? And I was smoking at the time as well. And a couple of years after that, I eventually quit smoking, and that was been a huge bonus as well. On that, but. Anything that I've anything that's come along that I can try and negate, if you like, give up things. I'm good at giving up things in that.
Right.
Unfortunately, I've had to give up a lot of things in my life, harder than drinking and alcoholism. But it's good feeling that you can control those things, as they say, those things that are in your own control. It's like the serenity prayer, you give me the grace to accept the things that I can change, like sort of thing, and that, and that's basically what I've tried to do, and that, and that's where later on we might talk about where I've got this.
Yes, and we will come to that. After another few songs or so. But what's coming up soon actually is there is a week in June. I think it's the 14th, around that time, where it's Men's Health Week.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll put this where we're recording at the moment, but we'll put this out maybe during that. I think it'd be a nice, because you think of men's health. Yeah, there's a lot of men out there who are a bit overweight, and there's a lot of men out there who suffer from various different things, and need a bit of inspiration. And I think, to be honest, you're covering a lot of a lot of areas here today,
Yeah.
in this talk, which will undoubtedly help. But let me see. Can we go to another song? Give us another, and maybe again introduce it again. This is we're talking to Gerry Casey here, a musician and a songwriter. And come here. I know a lot of it comes from your experience, right? But how do you come up with the melodies, or the where does that? Are you just sitting at home
A
one day,
lot of the time I'm sitting
to
there,
yourself, or strumming a guitar?
Somebody might send me something, and might send me a bit of music or something, and I'll just hum along to it or sing along to it, and a lot of the stuff just comes out, especially the stuff that's about my illness and that, because at the time a lot of these were written quite a few years ago. It was quite raw with me at the time, and it's funny how things come around that I'm able to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Back then I'm not feeling like that now anymore, thank God. But I'm talking about the experience from back then, sort of thing.
Well, yeah.
But
retrospective look.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this next song basically is just about, it's a plea for understanding about the condition, or any condition basically, and it's a basic home recording. This was a demo, but I just like the way it came out, nice and raw, and it's called Please Understand.
What I have, please understand. I'm trying the best that I can. Please, please understand. I only am what I am. Won't you understand? I'm trying the best that I can. Please understand, I only am what I am. Won't you please understand? I'm trying the best that I can. Please understand. Won't you please understand? Please understand. Some say I waste what I have. Won't you understand? I'm doing the best that I can. Please, please understand. Please, please understand.
Lovers all around the world. You're listening to Our Voice FM.
Yeah, so you're listening to Our Voice FM, and in studio at the moment we are talking to Gerry Casey, a Boyle man, originally from London. Is it London?
No, Basingstoke.
Basingstoke. So
I'm
we're
a Hampshire hog.
Hampshire.
A Hampshire hog.
In
yes.
Hampshire,
South
Hertford
England.
and Hereford.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Hereford, Hertford. Yes, right, Basingstoke. Wow.
Yeah, I'd nenever been back there either, strangely enough. I've been over and back to England a good few times now, but I'd never been back to... I was actually born in the house, they tell me, and it was a planned thing. There was nurses and stuff
Okay,
there, but
yeah.
that's what I used to say, that it's that's what happened to me. I was born in the house, there was something wrong, not right, and there was... but, yeah, I've never been back, and I'd love to go back as well, just to... Because I do have memories, even though I was quite young when we came over and that.
Right.
So
right.
it would be nice to see. I'm sure it's all changed now, but... yeah, it would be interesting to do someday.
Yeah, or they might put a plaque on it someday. This is the house where Gerry Casey was born. Yes.
I don't think
yes.
so.
It was in 2026 when he, went out into the big bad world. He was made famous. He hit the big time. So come here. Listen. So you've talked about mental health issues. You've talked about bipolar disorder that you have been living with for a long time, and you have come to terms with that, and you're kind of on top of things there. We've talked a bit about your journey there, but you recently went on another journey, Gerry, because the man that I met, I think I know you. I don't know, about maybe 10 years, 11, 12 years or so. I met you first, I think, around the men's shed up in Boyle. And you were setting up a little studio in there and stuff like that. But you're half the man you used to be. So
in a good way, hopefully.
Yeah. Tell us about this journey that you've lost so much weight. And you're looking $1 million, I must say.
Thank you.
So tell us what started that journey, and how have you? Because a lot of people start these journeys and they don't finish them, but you've reached your target. And,
yes,
so,
indeed.
Tell us all about that, because this is fantastic.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's partly to do with the illness as well, that I put on a lot of weight. Just you lose. You lose confidence in yourself, but you just don't really care so much about your appearance and all that. And a lot of the medication I was on in the past, and maybe still I'm on in a small way, tends to make you gain weight. And you'll find that a lot with side effects for a lot of medication, but especially antidepressant medication and that. And doctors have been telling me for years, you've got to lose weight. I got up to about 19 stone at one stage, and doctors saying you got to lose weight, and I'm saying yeah, I've heard this before, yeah. But it wasn't until about this time last May actually, about 12 months now, I had to go into Sligo Hospital for a week into coronary care, and I was with chest pains, or chest palpitations I should say, not chest pains, and I was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, which is a sort of a palpitation of the heart and an irregular heartbeat and that. And basically the doctor put the fear of God into me, the cardiologist I should say. He said that if I don't lose weight, that maybe they'd have to operate on me and that. And I said to myself, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be operated on for that. I'm bad enough, with everything that I'm dealing with medications and stuff. So I said to myself, if I can stop putting food in here, maybe they'll be able to stop having to open me up here in my chest. And that's what I did. I started with Slimming World. I give a plug out there to Slimming World with Brianne. She's got classes here, or groups in Strokestown on a Saturday morning, and she has a group in Boyle on a Tuesday evening. And she's just brilliant. She gave me the motivation as well as the motivation I got from my doctor, but she keeps you motivated and on track with that. And I was very lucky. The weight just sort of fell off me, a couple of pounds, maybe 1.5 pounds every week over 7 months. And by Christmas time, I'd lost in my, I lost 4 stone with Slimming World, but I'd lost about a half stone before I started with them.
Okay.
So I've lost about 4.5 stone in weight. So I'm down at my target now, and I'm at it for the last 5 months. So I ain't going back no more. I got rid of the fat pants, as, as they say.
You've sold them.
I sold them.
Or donated them.
I
Yes,
donated them.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. That, and was it hard?
It was hard enough, but it wasn't near as hard as I thought it would be. Not
Okay.
near as hard as. Slimming World is a great system, a great diet, if you want to call it a diet, I suppose. But you don't feel like you're dieting at all, because I'm a very plain eater. They ask me questions, oh, what do you like to do, food optimizing? And I'm going, oh, I could survive forever on baked potatoes, breaded cod, any sort of meat, and loads of spuds. You can have nearly as much as you want of all those things, lean
Right,
meat and that.
okay.
And the weight just seems to keep coming off for me every week and that.
Yeah.
So I have to say it's probably one of the best things that I ever achieved, to do that. And it's had so many knock-on effects, great knock-on effects and health benefits for me.
Yeah.
Personally, like I had high blood pressure for years, and that's been normalised now. I've been able to cut off medication for that.
Wow.
I had high cholesterol through the roof. Don't ask me the numbers now, but it was very high, and that's been normalised now as well. And I've been able to cut medication for that. Plus my antidepressant medication, because I was so big, I was 19 stone, 18.5 stone,
Okay.
and I shed 4.5 stone, that they were able to taper me off some medications, and I'm still being tapered off as we sort of speak. And I just feel so much better. I used to feel tired all the time. I'd be giving out to doctors, oh, I'm tired all the time and I just can't get motivated, and you procrastinate with everything when you're depressed and that. But I have more energy. I say I don't feel as tired anymore, and it's great to be able to go into a shop or to a charity shop and find clothes that fits you, and be able to, like, I went from a size 38 waist down to a 32 waist in jeans, you know, which is great. It just feels so good. You can pick things out, and you can buy things now in a large size or even a medium size for you. Before you were buying quite large clothes and that, like, you know. Yeah. So yeah, it's had great knock-on effects, I have to say. And my self-esteem and my confidence in myself has improved as well greatly, like, you know.
And I feel that energy kind of begets energy, if you know what I mean. Like, so if you're going out into the world with more energy, people are getting that energy off you and maybe throwing it back at you, type of thing. So it's a I think it's a win-win situation, isn't it? Like when you wake up, when you're down and you're meeting people, you know,
you're affecting everybody around you.
You bring them down, and you kind of leave their presence in a very kind of worse off. But I think when you're bubbly and when you're happy, is it that you're happier in yourself, that you're happy that you've achieved something, or that you're in control of what is it that's giving you that energy, do you think?
I think a lot of it is to do with just getting rid of the excess weight. I mean, you will see heavier people, and I'm not giving out about heavy people because I am an ex-heavy person, and you know, they just find it hard to literally move. There's an old saying, big bodies move slowly, and we say that about big corporations as well.
Yes,
but it's you're sweating more easily, and it's just you're uncomfortable when you're heavy like that, and in good weather like this, it's really uncomfortable, I have to say, like, you know. But no, there is an element of being in control as well when you've got down to your weight and that, and you say, well, I can manage this now. I know how to do it. I know how to lose weight, and I can try and manage to stay at this nice weight that I found myself at. And it gives you a good feeling, like, that, you know, that you're in control of that, and you're not, you know. Now I've had to give up some the treats and stuff that I used to have. I used to have them all the time. That's the problem. They weren't treats. They were everyday things. Peanuts and biscuits was my Achilles heel. I would eat biscuits night, noon, and morning. But I still have the occasional one now. But when I was losing the weight, I didn't have any bread or butter or things like that. It was all fish and eggs and stuff like that. But you just feel so much better, and people are saying, "Oh, you're looking so well," and all this sort of crack. And you're not used to hearing that. You know what I mean? So
I
it's
know.
good.
You're
And
used to, oh, here's Gerry now again. Like,
you're less puffy and pasty around the face and that, and you just feel better about yourself. And you know, it's all around.
And friends did they play a big or acquaintances or did they play a part in your weight loss as well? Like, were people supportive of you?
Of course. Definitely.
Family and friends.
Yeah. As I say, we talk a little bit later about the training centre. We do social cooking there on a Monday and a Friday.
Yeah.
And they would do special Slimming World friendly meals just for me, like, you know, and that.
Okay.
And they were amazed at what you could still have and still be dieting and losing weight.
Yeah.
And everybody sort of enjoyed the meals and that, like, you know. But yeah, definitely family and friends. My dad has been great. He was sort of doing it with me, if you like, you know.
Yeah.
Now he can eat what he wants. He's great, and he still stays at the same lovely and trim. I won't say what weight he is, but he's nice and trim. But he'd kill me if I did. But yeah, he was great all through the journey and that, like, you know. And it's great. You go to the Slimming World and say you'd be texting people at the meeting, I'm down 2 pounds, I'm down 3 pounds, whatever. They're coming back saying, fair play to you, keep going, keep going.
Indeed.
So it was brilliant. It really, really was, like, you know.
Yeah. Because I remember going to your house, and you had just gotten that news from the doctor.
Yeah.
And I was saying to myself, like, you know, I'd love to be doing that myself. Now I'd love to be taking on that myself. And I've started a bit. I'm watching much more what I eat. But sometimes, and I think this is where people kind of fall down, is that if they're not being motivated by somebody else, it's hard. It's like you're doing it on your own.
Yeah.
But you have, I don't know, you even before we started recording this, you were singing the plaudits of your mentor in Slimming Worlds.
Oh, yes.
And how good she is at motivating.
Absolutely, Brianne, she's brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
And it's a constant. It's you know, you're saying that she has her Magic Mondays or her
motivational Mondays and throwback Thursdays and you know, all stuff like that on social media a couple of times a day, and it's just brilliant. And I have to say, when you join Slimming World, I suppose, or any slimming group like that, and you set your target and I set my target, and you know, if you say you're going to lose 4 stone, you think, this is a mountain I have to climb. How am I going to do this, like? And but the beauty of Slimming World is they give you an award for every half stone that you lose. So every 7 pound that you lose, you're given an award, and they make a big fuss and they're clapping and everything. I was the only man there for about 6 months, and they made a big fuss of me every day, and I was there, and that's, so it was great. I love the attention, as you may notice. But yeah, if you work towards the
I'm looking forward to your
award,
song on Slimming World now in a few months' time now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
But you also made an interesting point about that you kind of broke the how would you say, the mold when it comes to men attending Slimming World classes, because you ended up in the paper.
That's right.
Before and after type of shot, and I presume that other lads thought, Janie, well, Gerry did it, so I think there's a possibility I could do it as well.
I think so. Yeah, that's a great feeling.
It is
well,
great.
Like, you know?
It is great that men are kind of listening to what other men are doing and going down, taking the step, and it can be quite kind of embarrassing as well, you know.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Taking that step across the door into places like Slimming
it's
World.
It's one of the big steps into any place, like, you know, you don't know what's waiting for you in
That's
that.
Right, the unknown.
I have to say, and I'd say to anyone that might be listening, is that it's such a welcoming place. You'll be made feel so welcome, and you'll enjoy it. And once you see the weight starting to come off, your motivation will be sky high, and they'll keep applauding you till you've got to your target, as they say, like, you know.
Excellent.
But it's brilliant. It's been very, very good for me. And that's
great. Well, do you have any songs that might how would you say, celebrate achievements or I don't know, acknowledge achievements, or whatever you come with there now, we'll play. Just to remind people, I am with Gerry Casey here, a singer and a songwriter from Boyle in County Roscommon, and Just talking about your life and times, Gerry,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you've a very interesting life, but a very. I remember a man saying to me years ago, he says, "John, if you ever want to get advice, real advice, good advice, go to somebody who has suffered,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because they know what life is all about."
yeah, yeah.
And
It's the lived experience, I suppose. Coming
absolutely,
back to that, like, you know, it's-
absolutely, and even through this interview, I would presume that you're helping people, that you're mentoring people, that you're saying that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and there's
yeah.
always hope,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
always something to live for, and to be the best who you can be, and that's all we can do, I suppose, for ourselves, isn't it? Just be the best of the best of John, or the best of Gerry, and
Yeah.
we can't. Sometimes
Try.
when we pretend to be other people, it doesn't work. But I think when we're true to ourselves,
Yeah.
that's when we become, I don't know, whole or wholesome, or that we are.
You're going in the right direction anyway. I think,
Yeah.
like, that's the main thing. Like, and
Yeah.
when you know you're going in the right direction, you're content to some degree, to a big degree, I should say. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good thing. But
So what have you got for us?
this next song, it mightn't be in celebration of anthem, but it's a nice relaxing song that my friend Bob Clohessy came up with on guitar, and he sent it to me. The magic of the internet, you can send these things now without having to burn them to CD, and he sent it to me one day, and I just sort of came up with this, and I recorded the vocal for it in my house, and it's called Midnight Forest.
Midnight Forest. Okay, we're just waiting for the ads to finish.
Yeah.
Here it is, Midnight Forest. chilled, Gerry. That was gorgeous. What was the name of that again?
Midnight Forest.
Midnight Forest. I could go to sleep to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I put that up on YouTube as a song, but I also put it up as a short. You can edit them to make shorts, and they go up in a different category.
Yes.
And I've put up shorts in the past. You swear I was doing this all my life, but I've only started doing this about 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago. When I said I've done this in the past, but no, I put it up as a short, and usually they get played maybe 10 plays a night, or maybe 15 plays or whatever. And one of them got played about 50 times in the one night. I got up the next morning after this had been on.
Right.
It was played over 1,000 times.
Wow.
Now, I don't know what it was. Was it the image that comes up? Or was it I had edited that the hook comes in sort of straight away? And it's been shared a couple of times on, because you can tell on YouTube, the analytics app that you get when you're a creator,
yes,
that, you can see these things coming up on it. So I don't, and the next night I got 3 plays. So, you know, it's just the way, it's just a blip, really, I think, more than anything else. But yeah, it's nice. I got a comment from a guy in Ontario, and he said he was just going out for a walk to a forest that's nearby, and he'd been listening to this in his headphones, you know. So that gives me such a lift, such a joy to hear that, like, you know what I mean?
That's absolutely brilliant.
You never meet these people, you never know what their lives are like, but they just said something like that, and he gave me a lift, and I gave him a bit of a lift with the song, you know.
Brilliant.
So that's...
that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. Okay, Gerry, keep doing what you're doing, keep writing, and keep producing this amazing music. I want to talk about a group in Boyle that have been also a very dominant and positive and enriching and, how to say, part of your journey. So you were saying, yes, there's medication, yes, sometimes there's counselling, but tell me a bit about the group in Boyle that have been a source of strength for you.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about the HSE's Boyle Training Centre, and they're literally central to me. I'm about 80 steps from the door, from my house to where it is. It's the shortest commute ever that I have to do or ever had to do. And I have to say, I just can't stress enough how much the training centre has helped in my ongoing recovery. And I started going there a few years ago, and it's just been brilliant. They took me from someone that was lost, I suppose, in a way, to bringing me back, bringing my confidence back, bringing me back from the place that I don't really want to go to anymore, as I say, or ever again to, and that. And I just have to give a big shout out to the staff of the training centre there, Pauline, Helena, Stephen and Andy. They're wonderful staff members, and they help us so much every day. They've been brilliant. But I've been, through the training centre, I've been helped in and encouraged to start singing again. I wouldn't been doing any of this only for that. Okay. We've done sort of mini concerts around the HSE area in Galway, or Roscommon, Athlone, and through the Melton Pot as well in Roscommon.
Okay.
We're up there every odd week at something at Drummond, or we did a singing course there with the National Concert Hall there a couple of years ago. It was called Music in Mind. Wow. And that was great experience, and a help as well for gaining confidence in that. And just there recently, I was the co-lead in a project that we did in the centre. It was called Sing for Joy, and basically we were singing all the ballads and songs of old here in that we hear every day, or in the pubs of old. And I led them out with the singing, and I'd sing a couple of songs, and I'd play my guitar and that, and then we'd bring some of the service users up to the microphone if they wanted to sing themselves. Yeah. And just to see them light up, it was brilliant. It was a joy to do, like, you know. Brilliant. So that's something that hopefully we might visit again sometime, like, you know, hopefully. Excellent. And but apart from that, every Monday and Friday we have a social cooking or dinner that we all help make, and so we all prepare the vegetables and the potatoes and get together and do the cooking and that, and part of the recovery as well as we go, doing the shopping as well, and getting all the bits and pieces together. So that, and of course then we're chatting all the time, so that's part of the social aspect of it. Some of us mightn't get to see people all the time and mightn't have families and that, so when we do get together on a Monday and Friday like that, we have the crack and we kick back and have a chat, as they say, But there's so many things that are available and that goes on in the training centre. They're not only in Boyle, but there's in Roscommon and in Castlereagh as well. And we do meet up, for different projects, and we sort of all get together.
Yes.
We've a choir called the Keynotes Choir, which I've been involved with as well. And they're great. They've become like family to me now at this stage. They've been so good, But the coaching sessions that I've had over the years there just have been brilliant. Personal development, helping with so many things. Even going doing voluntary work that I did a little bit of work with G one stage with the DJ work and that. That was all came about through the training centre in Boyle. And it's just... We do. There's woodwork available as well. You can design your own project, like a Bugs Hotel or Bug Hotel or Birdhouse or that. And we've done cycling groups, walking in the woodlands and that. And but another big thing that we do is the African drumming and therapeutic drumming. We do that in the melting pot, and we have our own drums in Boyle as well. But we come up to the melting pot to meet up with the other groups from Castlereagh and Roscommon. And we've recently done a sort of a course with a guy, Barak, I think is his name, that does a course in African drumming, and it's just brilliant. It's so relaxing, it's therapeutic, and it's social as well. It gets us all, we all have a good laugh, But and then there's horticulture that you can do there as well. Sort of an introduction to therapeutic horticulture. We have one of these... tunnels, what do you call them? Polytunnels. Where have I gone with that? And you learn about managing your own garden and stuff like that. And so on our own, we're having social dinner, we get all our vegetables and that from the polytunnel and that, and it's just brilliant. But I don't think that people realise that training centre in Boyle is there at all, even though there is a big sign saying Boyle Training Centre. I don't think people realise what it is and what the services are there, and I just want to say that you do need to be referred by your mental health team, maybe a doctor, a psychiatrist, to attend it. But if you are in that situation and you're looking for somewhere to go, it gives me structure in my day. It gives me something to get up and go out and do, and I know I'm going to meet people. It's just been wonderful, I have to say. And recently, in the last month or that, I've sort of set up a little recording studio in the centre. It was called the Centre Studios. Wow! So I'm starting to record new songs there now in there as demo parts. Anyway, record the guitar parts and that. Maybe do the singing at home where it's a bit more private and I can let rip, as this without the sound of hammering going on with woodworking next door or that, which is good for the ambience as well. But
as long as they hammer in time,
They hammer in time and that, exactly. But it's been just so brilliant for me, and I have to mention as well the staff, the doctors and nurses that come to the Willow Grove Day Centre next door. I've been going to them now for the last 30 years since I was diagnosed, and they've been wonderful, really, really wonderful, helping me on my journey and bringing me down the last while off some of my medications and that, and monitoring me and all of that. But it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant, So the training centre, if you need them, they're there basically, and you won't regret it going to visit them.
Well, you've fairly plugged them there now, all the good work. So yes, and just going back to one thing you said there about routine and structure to the day.
Yeah.
How important is that?
Very much so. For me, anyway, I'm one of these people that I'm not much good on my own. Left to my own devices, I'll, if I'm having a bad day, I'll go back to bed and stuff like that, and I won't do the housework. Right. I'll do a lot of man things if you can get away with them. But
like watch Netflix, is it?
or YouTube or whatever, But it's I need a bit of structure in my day. I need it.
I think we all do. We all need
to
it.
Come and go, especially when I was used to working as a younger man and that. And when you're unemployed, it's just soul destroying. Just not knowing what to do.
Yes.
going there has just given me, as I say, the structure and the friendly faces and the cup of tea, and it's just been, you know, no more than the Slimmer world. It has been life changing for me, like, you know, and the staff there have been just so brilliant, absolutely brilliant, like, you know.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
I'm just wondering, in my own little mind, if you hadn't moved back to Boyle.
I often wondered myself, yeah.
If you hadn't moved back to Boyle, would you have found those structures and that sense of friendship and family and closeness in Basingstoke? You know, I don't. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows if I even have gotten ill? Like, that's another big question that you can never answer. Like, you know, that's one of those. I wonder. Like, you know, but I don't. I think the services here are probably better. Even though we all like to give out about the services in one way or another and waiting lists and things like that. It's not all rosy, like, you know.
Yeah.
But I think the local services are pretty good, like, you know what I mean? And in my experience, anyway.
There's the doorbell.
Hello.
Come back again. We're having an interview here now. Come back again. Well, listen, Gerry, we've covered a lot of your life experience up to now, and I must say I'm very humbled, and I'm inspired by what you have achieved in your life and what you've not only what you've achieved but what you've overcome in order to be the person that you are today. And I think you truly are an inspiration to so many people out there, and I can see you mentoring and helping and offering your knowledge and your giftedness and your creativity to so many, that you're still in your prime, and I think you have so much to offer so many other people, and especially as well with your music. I think it's an amazing how would you say, gift to give to others and to share with others. So keep it up. What you're doing, keep it up, because you truly are an inspiration, and it was a brilliant opportunity for me to sit down with you this morning and to talk about you, your life, and what you've done over the couple of years that you've been on this earth. So it's been a privilege.
Oh, thank you so much, John. And the same goes this way as well. It's been a privilege to be here, and thank you so much for everything. It's been great.
Would you do me a big favour? Would you play us out with another one of your songs, another one of your compositions? It's rare I have a singer, songwriter, composer in my studio.
There's that doorbell again.
There's the doorbell. That's the computer saying time up. So tell us what you're going to play us out on today.
This song is a song called Free Forever. It's about searching spiritually and for love, I suppose, and what might happen, or you never know around the corner with anyone and that. And it's one of my favourites. It's called Free Forever.
Brilliant. Gerry, Casey, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Can you see
Our Voice FM, the station that includes everybody voice.
Our voice.